Hey everybody, it's your friend Sarmate here, and we're back with another episode of Settlement Survival. I hope you're having a fantastic and amazing day today. In this one, we're going to get sweet with some candies. So I still have to learn the tech, so here we go. We're going to go Candy Workshop, and then we have to go to Processing. Gotta have some sugar with our candy. We're going to go ahead and do that. And the last thing I want to get is going to be under construction. Remodel brick kilns and ovens. So this is just a passive upgrade that we can do for some of our buildings, and the buildings that I have in mind are going to be the salt workshops. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'll just address the brick thing first. So we have so many salt workshops right now, so many of them. It looks like I need to fill a couple more people in here, so we can do that quick. But we're still not producing a ton of salt. I noticed that we had a ridiculous amount of fish, and remember, we have fish banned, so the only time we're using fish is in the curing workshops. So I did put in another 2 curing workshops right here next to the salt and where we're getting some fish, and I wanted to see if that's going to be enough. But before we activate the second one, I wanted to make sure that we're getting enough salt. So what we're going to do for the ovens, we're going to go up over here. We have to get some, trade for them. This is going to remodel the structure with oven to improve the work efficiency of some processing buildings. So better efficiency, we're going to get more salt out of what we got. So we're going to need some ovens for that. And we're going to need 6 ovens, I think, for our salt workshop. So we'll get into that eventually here. Maybe not this episode, maybe I'll do it in between, but I'll get some ovens at some point. And then for now, once we get some more salt here, once we get some ovens, I'll get this curing workshop up and running. I have been kind of going through our farms, and I'm trying to play a little bit with our food production. Since we have so much food right now, 133,000, we have a ton of food. I've been trying to get my workers back, really. So I've been kind of lowering the farmers on each plot. I'm down to 3 here instead of up to 4. I got these guys out of here, and then I realized we were in the red, so I did come back over here and reactivate a couple of farms. This will probably look the same to you guys. But I had both of these farms out of here. Well, I guess all 4 of these farms were making peas. I took everything out and then replaced 2 with peas, and then 1 with sugarcane and 1 with cotton. Turned all these off down here. So the sugarcane, that's going to be used to make sugar, if you couldn't have guessed. And we have 16,000 saved up. A ton of it saved up from when we had it a long time ago. So that's awesome. We have a lot of sugar to start processing with. So if we come back over here on this side of the world, this is kind of where I was thinking of producing our candies. The reason being, another one, is because we have honey over here. I just put this apiary in. It's been going for a little while. We have about 350 honey saved up. So we have the resources to start making some candy. So let's go ahead and we'll come over here and let's go with processing. And we have our sugar workshop. It's going to process malt, beets, sugarcane, and maple sap into sugar for use in the jam workshop. We also have the jam workshop here that came with the sugar processing, and I did put in dates as well, so I don't know if we have any yield yet, but soon we should have some dates coming in. We can make some date jam, I think. I paused because I think that's incorrect. We'll have to double check. I remember doing this, was it our last playthrough? Where I was super excited about getting it, and then we realized that dates weren't a part of it. So we're going to go ahead and grab the jam workshop, tuck it on the other side of this here transfer station. And I know that I built this in the dense area over here. I don't care about that anymore. So for now, we're just going to start working our way over here. And then finally, we'll go over here and we'll find our candy workshop. There it is. Planks, glass, and brick. We can deal with that. No problem. We'll go ahead and we'll get that guy going right there. So we, of course, have to wait for the builders. And then speaking of the builders, I did something else. So I had a lot of builders. I had too many builders sitting in a place like up over here, like 4, 5, 6 builders in a cabin just hanging out. I took them all out. So currently we have 4 builders in 4 builder cabins. So what I want to do is kind of have these building cabins kind of dedicated to their space where they're going to be utilized. I felt like that kind of made more sense than having 6 builders across the world, you know, dealing with building way over here. So we'll put 3 in there for now. We have 40 laborers right now. We did just get some immigrants in here, so that's really great. So we'll get this building cabin happening and we'll get these guys built up. Look how little we have of timber. So I did add in 2 more forest farms here, but I think we're gonna have to go a little bit more forest farmy. And I think we could tuck it just right in here. I think that would be just great. Okay, so there we go. We have 4 forest farms, each 10 by 10. We'll go ahead and we'll get those guys operating as soon as it's cleared out. And then we'll be able to stay on top of our timber. We have to be able to stay on top of that timber, especially nowadays when we're using timber across the map. Like everywhere we're using timber. We were really low on domestic fuels, so we, in the last episode I think it was, swapped this water mill to domestic fuels from planks, and I even put in 2 more sawmills to help produce some more domestic fuels for us. We were sitting at 0 again for our domestic fuels, and it kind of made me nervous. We have a couple snowflakes running around here, but we want to stay on top of our domestic fuels, and in order to do that, we need to have that timber. So we're going to keep our eyes on that and then get that really going. And it looks like we have our candy workshop ready. Ooh, and Taylor scrap. We are going to make, let's see. Let's go for backpacks. And we'll get those guys on the way. 300. Awesome. Candy workshop. Sarah is working our candy workshop, but we have nothing queued up. So let's see what the recipes are. Let's see if they've changed anything here. Before, I believe it was sugar and water. Now it's sugar and honey. And we have a decent amount of honey, we mentioned that, but no sugar yet. So that's just for regular candy. Fruit candy is going to use sugar and jams, and chocolate is sugar and cocoa beans. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and go for candy. Now, again, we need some... Ooh, look at all of these red snowflakes. That just caught my eye off the corner here. Oh, that's not great. Okay, we're going to go ahead and set that up. And we have our sugar workshop working our sugar cane into sugar. Harley's working hard on that. Let's go ahead and add somebody else to help them out. And then we have our jam workshop. Looks like we're making jam. Now, remember I mentioned dates. Are dates a part of this? I questioned myself and nope, they aren't. Okay, so I did remember correctly that dates are not a part of this. We are going to need some more seeds. So for now, we'll turn the jam workshop off because there's no point. And we'll just have to get some more seeds. Now, we only have about 19,000 money or gold or whatever it is in this game. And we need to trade a little bit more. So once we get some more gems coming in, I'm really working on getting Carlos to tier 4. Because once we do that, getting to tier 4 with Carlos is just, it's super worth it if you're wanting to plant things. We did pay the high price for our cotton. And we started that tier of industry. But we have some other things that we want to get into. We need some mulberries. We need some fruits. We got to order all that stuff. So we'll be able to do that here eventually once we get Carlos to tier 4. And then, of course, I do want to get some horses or donkeys so that we can take advantage of the logistic technology called animal power. So we're going to go ahead. We'll take a peek at that. This is going to increase the efficiency and load limit by 500. It's a super powerful ability to have unlocked, and we'll work on it. But again, we need to do this with horses or donkeys. So we have to save up our money to be able to purchase those guys. And then again, the horses and donkeys can only be in our corrals. So we have plenty of room for them. We just got to get to them. And we'll do that eventually here. And it looks like we need to watch our food a little bit closer now because we are still losing food. I just want to find that balance. I don't want to go too far in one direction. So it looks like we are going to have to assign some more farmers, and we'll go ahead and over here, and we'll do that on our higher yield places, our plantations over here. And I think we'll just go ahead and let's go with some oat seeds because we are using oats in other places now. So if we have a couple extra oats, that's not that big of a deal. So we're going to go ahead, and it is kind of a little bit late to start planting, but hopefully we get those planted up real quick, and then we can start to get some more food. And then we'll just kind of find that balance, and then we'll be good to go. We have the 4 forest farms up and running now. You saw there, I was just adding in the people. I didn't acknowledge it, but we have 4 people working in there now. And then we come back over here, and let's see how our sugar is doing. Looks like we made 136, so we have some saved up. And are we making any candies? 2. All right, we got some candy happening. Oh, I forgot to mention this. I did ban honey. I had this running for a while without the ban going, and there was no honey in there. So I banned honey so that we could make candy. So there, we got that going. I'm super excited about having some candy, make the kids happy around town here. Unfortunately, we were a little bit late, and we missed the Halloween candy window. If you were playing during the Halloween season, you could see a couple people trick or treat, or they were sad that there wasn't any candies. So just a little fun thing that devs do. They're really good at changing the game just ever so slightly for holidays. It's really fun. I love that they do it. They add in a bunch of little decorations on the homes and all sorts of fun stuff. And in between episodes, I was kind of just trying to maintain our goods here. We're still struggling really badly trying to stay on top of our straw shoes. I have several knitting workshops making straw shoes right now. I may need to add in a few more. But then, of course, we ran into a thing where we needed some more reeds. Currently, 0 reeds in reserve. So let's go ahead and add a few more. I'm kind of not super happy about utilizing this this river coast here, only because it's a long way to bring all the goods. Now, I probably should have built a bridge like across this way, but I didn't. I could put one over here. That'd probably be a good idea. I could also probably utilize a transfer station over here. That would also be good. It looks like this one barely catches that. So maybe I'm all right, but eventually I'm going to want to have one over here anyways. So we should just grab it and get it set up. And now let's see what we got for our salt. Still 0 salt. So we may need to add in another salt works. I did mention getting those ovens and we needed 6. So maybe we do that. We should have a few of the gems saved up that we can sell some of those. Let's check that out. Gems 190. Sweet. Let's go 175. And then look at that, 10,000 money on the way. Excellent. And then to fill in the gaps here, I've been still sticking coffee in some places. I got about 1,900 and we need like 1,500. So let's just go 1,000. And we'll fill that in right there like so. We have some steel. 150 plain old steel and 506 steel tools. What if we did like 250? Look at that. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll sell that, almost 20,000 gold on the way. And then we wanted to purchase, so if we say ovens, we are going to Carlos, by the way. Oh, we need insurance too. We needed 6 of these, so let's just see out of curiosity's sake. 17,000. With the money that we're making selling, we're gonna use the majority of that for these ovens, but that's okay. We'll still gain a little bit. Let's go ahead and purchase that. And of course, we'll get tons of rep with Carlos for doing this. So we have 4 people. We're doing insurance. Risk of death, 8%. That seems high. Let's go with 6 people. They might have changed that on me. And then we'll form it. So those guys are going to be on the way to Carlos for us. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like reeds are the issue here. So I don't want to just throw in another knitting workshop right away because we don't need one. We need the reeds. So let's see if we could add in maybe another reed field over here, and one right there will work great. So we'll go ahead and tie it in, of course, to everything else. All right, excellent. And then, of course, our transfer station should capture that. Looking good. All right, so we're kind of developing this area nicely. I like it. So back up in here in our text, let's go ahead and get pottery, and let's get some pottery workshops set up. We're going to be looking for clay and catalyst to make pottery or porcelain. So we're going to go ahead and get that. And then, of course, we'll come down over here to processing. We'll find our new building. And we got to think about, where do we have clay coming in? We do have one little spot. Holy cow, there's a lot of buildings in this game now. Let's see. Let's go up over here. And luckily, we have this super duper search engine now. Pottery workshop. There it is. Way quicker. Okay. We have right here. This is the only spot that we're pulling in clay. The one, even. Which is crazy because we used to have, oh man, like 6 of these, like a lot of sand pits. And this only has 1 worker in there? Yeah, that's crazy. We're going to go ahead and put a second worker in there because we'll be utilizing some of that clay over here. So we're going to go ahead and get that on the way, and we'll be able to get that trading. Oh, did this get completed yet? Almost. 319 days. So when you use additional people, it's going to take a little bit longer. That's kind of weird. You would think it'd be the opposite, but it's not. So when we had 4 people, it was under 300 days. And now we're up to 6. We're at 319 days. So a little bit of ways out still. Oh, and it looks like our timber's looking good. So we have found a good balance. You can see the dip there on the graph. The hidden thief. For several months in a row, when the market vendors are taking stock, they had found that certain small items constantly go missing, and their records just couldn't match up. They finally decided to investigate the entire market, but where should they start? The staircase or the plank wall? Let's go with the wall. The hollow plank wall contained a squirrel nest and a large amount of supplies. Take them away or leave things alone. We'll take them away. The squirrel ran away with a squeak. Oh, all sorts of good stuff up there. Nice. So that, ooh, even gears? Wow. All right, cool. So what I think I'm going to do here, while we are waiting for our pottery workshop to get created, it looks like we're at the hammer phase here, so not much longer, and we're waiting for the small trading post to come back, I am going to cut and I will be right back. All right, welcome back. We just got our caravan back, and I had a surprise. I didn't know, but it pushed us over to level 4 with Carlos. So we have some things we're going to get here toward the end of our episode. Seeds trade and Chichen Itza, finally. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get this thing built. I love this thing. It's huge, but we don't have to deal with graveyards anymore. I've been kind of dealing with them in the background. If you were watching real close, you might be able to see that those were changing, deleting them, and then rebuilding them over and over again. We'll get this thing going, and I'm so excited. I love this thing. It's so nice to finally get. So we'll get that built up. Okay, and then back over here, we had our pottery workshop. So I have Tiffany working hard on some porcelain. So we have a couple options here. Pottery, porcelain, and silver cutlery. Obviously, we're at porcelain. Clay and refined fuels making some porcelain for us, and then pottery is some clay, refined fuels making some pottery. The difference here is the worth is 8 and weight is 1 versus worth of 16 and weight of 1. And it looks like the yield is a little bit better for making pottery. Ooh, it's that one clay is throwing it off from being perfectly double. So we're going to go ahead and stick with porcelain here. And then finally, we have silver cutlery. We can't do anything with. We don't have any silver yet. But once we do get silver, we'll be able to make this instead of porcelain. Look at that worth, 90 for 1. Ooh, so good. So yeah, we'll deal with that when we get to it. Maybe we'll have to get silver here pretty quickly. Okay, so our friend Carlos, finally, tier 4. So the next thing we want to do, if we look at the bottom here, tier 5, we have Great Temple and Mineral Rich. Increases the output of silver and products from Gold Miner Cabin by 100%. That's pretty good. We don't have that yet. The Great Temple, pretty cool. The thing with this is increases the happiness by quite a bit, but you lose citizens each month. They're sacrificed to the Great Temple, and it's not worth it, I don't think. There's so much value in your citizens to sacrifice them for a little happiness. I don't think it's worth it. So I probably won't bother with the Great Temple. So Ronnie here, let's check out tier 4 stuff. We have the Exquisite Sword. This is an awesome trade item. And then the Grand Bazaar can carry more caravans to trade with various factions, lower the price volatility caused by trading with factions. And then Better Trade. Price of all traded goods is increased by 25%. Ooh, and this is a good wonder. All citizens can receive education here, generations, speed of technology, experience from nearby research institutes and academies, plus 50%. Super good. I really like this. Maybe we'll work on Rania getting to level 5. Lorenzo. This is my least favorite one. The Ancient Smithy is a little bit better than our Advanced Blacksmith, but pretty mid in my opinion. And then the tier 5 stuff, maximum warmth increase 100%. That's pretty good. And then the Great Castle is like a giant apartment basically. It's cool, but not really necessary. And then finally here we have the paper mills, which we can use bamboo to make paper, which is pretty cool, and bamboo baskets. But we have our paper figured out right now, so I don't really need that. Private school tofu is cool, but again, don't really need it. The real thing is right here at level 3 with the dense farms. And then we have, again, a kind of another really cool Asian themed apartment type building. And then a new opera house. It's just basically a theater, but it's also cool. This is really good. Cooking skill, our food processing has improved greatly thanks to the introduction of exquisite oriental cooking technique, allow us to ease the citizens' burden with more and better food. That's pretty good. I like that one. It's a little bit of a ways out though. And in the Great Palace, this is the same thing as your town center. This is just way cooler. So maybe we can get into that eventually. But let's go ahead and, enough jib-jabbing here, let's go ahead and set up for Rania. So that's what we decided to go with. We're going to go ahead, we'll stick with the 6. I like the, oh, look at that, it's different here. It was like 8% when we were at 4 people before. All right, we'll leave it like that. Maybe it depends on what you put in here. So we're going to get our gems. We have 200 gems. Let's go ahead and sell those. Okay, so here's Carlos. We got set up. We have to sell a couple things. I overlooked that price of the seeds here, but we'll be able to do it anyways. Selling some steel and some coffee, and we're going to buy some mulberry seeds and apple seeds. Let's go ahead and farm it. Let's get these things on the way. I'm going to go with 6 people because that risk of death I want to be low. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And here we go. We got our Chichen Itza completed. I got to check this thing out. Pretty neat little Mayan looking thing. Super awesome. I love this. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. To finish this episode off, I'm going to delete these. Get out of here, cemeteries. Okay, and that's going to be it for this episode of Settlement Survival. Have a fantastic and amazing rest of your evening, day, or night. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again soon.